Money has been pouring into campaigns across the Show Me State. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jem Reed.
And I'm Brittany Pieper. KOMU8's Zach Newman spent the day looking through the numbers. He joins us in the studio with more on how the candidates compare.
The October quarterly report from the Missouri Ethics Commission shows millions of dollars are involved in the 2016 election. Keep in mind that there aren't any campaign donation limits in Missouri. Money can be spent on a range of things, including TV ads, social media campaigns, or billboards. On the governor's side, Costa for Missouri raised more than $3.4 million from July 1st to September 30th. That's the time band we're talking about here. The committee spent more than $6.1 million. Greitens for Missouri raised $4.1 million and spent $4.9. Now let's turn to the state Senate race. Citizens for Stephen Weber raised $96,000 more and outspent his competition by roughly $200,000. Experts say the amount of money raised says a lot about the chances of the races.
When you see large sums of money coming into campaigns late, usually signals that there's some expectation that the race might be tightening.
It's important to note that funds have been filling the candidates' coffers since the cutoff. Even earlier today, the Costa for Missouri committee received $175,000 from a union, and yesterday, a committee supporting Governor candidate Eric Greitens got a $2.5 million donation from the Republican Governors Association.
It's just one day before the final presidential debate, and there's
Mr. Donald J.
Donald
Trump campaigning today in Colorado.
Saying voting on November 8th will be rigged. Steve Handelsman has the latest.
This election, and I'm confident we'll do that.
President Obama appearing in Washington with the Italian Prime Minister slammed Trump for suggesting the election could be rigged.
I'd advise Mr. Trump to stop whining and go try to make his case to get votes.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton's problems worsened with the allegation her State Department sought a deal with the FBI, a quid pro quo. If FBI declassified a Clinton email so her sending it did not break rules, State would allow more FBI agents into Iraq. State denies any deal.
Those conversations were happening at the same time, but they were not linked.
USA Today reports major donors to Clinton's campaign were lobbyists from Microsoft, ExxonMobil, and other corporate giants who pressed the State Department to help their corporate clients. At tomorrow night's debate in Las Vegas, election rigging, emails and the FBI probe, and Trump's alleged sexual assaults are sure to be topics.
Obviously, we had some technical difficulties with that, but the final debate could be the last time Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump share a stage.
A group of women formed a human wall outside Donald Trump's hotel in Chicago today. The demonstrators were protesting his remarks about women from a 2005 Access Hollywood recording. They showed their opposition by chanting and carrying anti-Trump signs. Hillary Clinton can add one more item to her final debate preparations. Last night, WikiLeaks published emails from Clinton's campaign chairman, John Podesta. Among the emails was her first round of vice presidential picks. 39 names were on the list, including Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill. Tim Kaine ultimately became the choice.
Police brutality accusations brought a widespread call for all officers to wear body cameras. Lincoln University added body cameras on campus 2 months ago, and so far the university says it's working. KOMU8's Desiree Evans is live on Lincoln's campus to tell us more about the body cameras and how it's affecting students.
Lincoln University campus police officers started wearing body cameras back in August when classes started. The officers are required to wear the body cameras while they're on duty. I was told by the director of university relations that the cameras have mainly been used for student conduct. I spoke with several students on campus to gain some perspective, and a lot of them found the cameras to be beneficial, but one student says she doesn't think the cameras are needed.
I really don't think that the body cameras are necessary for campus police. I understand, they're trying to keep everything copacetic with everything that's going on, but I don't really think campus police are the issue. They try to help us out a lot.
Lincoln University joins Mizzou and Stephen College campuses for universities that have officers that wear body cameras. Reporting live from Lincoln University, Desiree Evans, KOMU 8 News.
The Columbia Mayor's Task Force is meeting right now to talk about city utilities that include stormwater, sewers, streets, sidewalks, and electricity. The task force chair says policies will have a long-term impact.
Policy on utilities determines how both affordable and easy it is to live in this community. We all require clean, potable water, reliable electricity, functional sewers, and stormwater drainage.
The meeting started at 5. Keep in mind, utility billing is not on the agenda. That remains a separate issue. Tonight is policy discussion.
MU staff members gathered to voice concerns to administration at an open forum today. Many of their concerns were about pay increases. The Staff Advisory Council put on the forum to give staff a direct voice with the administration. Many of the questions emailed in or asked in person were about the lack of funding for pay raises. One administrator says there's no simple solution.
There's a lot of concern about the cost of higher education, and so there isn't an ability for us to just increase the price every year by enough to give everybody a raise.
Staff also asked about recent changes to the Fair Labor Standards Act. The Vice Chancellor for Human Resource Services says many people are exempt from the Act's protection, so they can't be guaranteed overtime pay.
Here's what's happening right now. With less than 3 weeks from the election, both Democrats and Republicans are racing to the finish line. The campaigns are at full speed. Bernie Sanders is speaking right now in Flagstaff, Arizona, for his former rival, Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump is rallying in Grand Junction, Colorado. We'll have updates tonight on KOMU 8 News at 9 and 10. A class action lawsuit is filed against the state of Michigan and the Flint School District. Several families say nothing has been done to help students academically who have been affected by the water. The families believe student performances and behavior have become worse since drinking the lead-contaminated water in school buildings. After a 3-hour standoff in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a police sniper shot and killed a man. Police say the man had broke into his estranged wife's house and took her 2-year-old daughter hostage. The man stepped onto the balcony holding a gun to the child's head. That's when the sniper fired one shot. The officer has been put on paid leave pending an investigation.
A 14-year-old and his 6-year-old sister are being treated for gunshot wounds in Indiana. The teenager accidentally picked up his mom's gun trying to protect his sister from an intruder last night. He accidentally fired the gun, grazing his leg and shooting his sister in the thigh. The children ran to the neighbors for help. The 2 children were treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The Mississippi teacher caught on video dragging a special needs student by her hair across the floor has been fired. The school board in Greenville voted to terminate Linda Winters Johnson. Cell phone video shows her grabbing the student by the hair and dragging her across the high school gym floor last month. The commission will decide next month whether to suspend or revoke her special education teaching license. No criminal charges have been filed. And closer to home, police arrested a suspect in connection to a road rage shooting death. Christopher Taylor of Independence was arrested today and now faces murder charges. Police say he shot 22-year-old Whitney Gray in the chest while she was driving her minivan Sunday evening. She was driving with an 8-month-old, a 3-year-old, and a 16-year-old in her van. According to witnesses, Taylor was following Gray closely in his SUV when he tried to pass her and nearly caused an accident. Prosecutors have requested a bond of $100,000 cash. Not quite as warm as yesterday, but it still felt a lot like summer out there. Let's send it over to Tori to see what we can expect for the rest of the week.
Hey, thanks a lot, Brittany. Yeah, luckily, thanks to that cold front that moved through earlier this afternoon, we were mostly a good 10 degrees cooler than we were just 24 hours ago, but still remaining very, very warm across our viewing area. We're still into the middle and upper 70s. It's 75 in Macon, 77 in Moberly, and still hanging on to the 80s for some of our southern counties. It's 80 degrees in Columbia, checking in at 82 for both Jefferson City and at the Lake of the Ozarks. Now, luckily, since that front has passed, our winds have really calmed down as well. Right now, only around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Those have shifted out of the northwest. So things are going to be feeling a little bit cooler out there for us tonight. It is still going to be a relatively warm one as far as average overnight low temperatures are concerned. But heading into the rest of our work week this week, we should see temperatures a little bit close to where we should be for this time in October. I'll have a closer in-depth look at your full 8-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Tori, thanks. Coming up in Your Health, a new tool to prevent brain injuries in premature babies.
And new funding to help fight the Zika virus has been approved. What the money will go toward later in the show.
And here's a live look over downtown Columbia on this Tuesday afternoon. It's 5:09. This is KOMU 8 News, first at 5. Coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to KOMU 8 News, first at 5. A live look over the Lake of the Ozarks. We're hanging on to pretty clear skies and sunshine across mid-Missouri at this point. Thankfully, it's been a little bit of a cooler one for us. We're still seeing well above average conditions at this point, but heading into the day tomorrow, things should be a little bit closer to that 66-degree average where we normally expect for this time in October. But once that cold front finally passes on through, it's going to bring with it around a 20 to 40% chance for a few scattered showers heading into your Thursday morning, but behind that, lots of clear sky and sunshine to end the work week and to start off our Mizzou homecoming weekend. Temperatures should be back into the upper 60s and lower 70s heading into next week as well. Right now, looking at our satellite and radar, here's that front that moved through the area throughout the day today. It's going to kind of stall off just down to our south, but as it lifts northward heading into our Wednesday evening, or rather Wednesday morning hours, it is going to bring with it just a few extra clouds, mainly for a lot of our southern counties to start off your Wednesday morning. I think for a good 85-90% of us, it is going to be a very dry start to your commute to work and school early tomorrow morning. But heading into the afternoon, areas along and south of I-70 are just going to pick up on a few very light scattered showers, really not looking at anything in the way of thunderstorm activity for our viewing area tomorrow afternoon. And those are just going to kind of scatter on and off throughout Wednesday evening. I'm thinking better opportunities for some of these more widespread showers, again, mainly for some of our southern counties. Looks to arrive early on Thursday morning, but we are going to see a lot of clearing behind that throughout Thursday afternoon. We should be seeing a lot of sunshine for at least the second half of the work week this week. And really, as far as rainfall accumulations go, only looking at around a quarter of an inch for some of our southern counties, but I think a lot of us will be seeing less than that heading into Thursday afternoon. So for our final week of Friday Night Fever, we're going to be at North Callaway as they face Tolton. It is going to be a very clear one for us, a little bit cooler than we were last week. I think game time temperatures should be back into those those middle and lower 50s for us. So you are going to need that heavier jacket, maybe a blanket with you if you're going to be heading out on Friday evening or to the Mizzou homecoming parade early on your Saturday morning. For tonight, in the meantime, though, we're still going to be a good 10 degrees above what we normally expect for overnight lows, but temperatures are much cooler than last night. We'll be right around 55 degrees, just a very light breeze out of the north for us. And then heading into the day tomorrow, finally a much cooler one. We'll be back into the middle and upper 60s. Again, just a few very light scattered showers, mainly throughout Wednesday afternoon, but once we get those out of the way, it's looking like a very clear, dry, and sunny weekend. We should see temperatures back into the upper 60s and lower 70s by Saturday and Sunday. Not really looking at great rain chances, though, for the next 8 days.
I'd say good football weather for both Friday and Saturday.
We really lucked out with Friday Night Fever this year.
All right, Tori, thanks. Elementary school-age kids could be getting more cavities.
How dental sealants could prevent your child from getting them after the break.
Thousands of Haitians determined to get to the U.S. won't make it past northern Mexico due to a new immigration policy. The increase was caused by Hurricane Matthew. The new policy makes it more likely they'll be detained in northern Mexico and then deported back to their homelands. Activists and other humanitarian groups have tried to provide aid, but resources are scarce and more Haitian migrants reach the border each day. In the battle for the Iraqi city of Mosul, the International Committee of the Red Cross were called to help civilians. The ICRC has reinforced medical centers to treat anyone sprayed by chemical weapons. 900 staff members were deployed. They've spent months getting ready for the crisis. A chemical company says one person is still missing after an explosion at a plant in southwestern Germany. It injured many and killed at least 2 people. The missing person is believed to be in a nearby harbor. The cause of the blast is unclear.
Up next in your health, new technology aimed at helping preemies, how a device could keep some babies from having brain damage. Next.
Ahead for us tonight, our Richard Engel reports from the front lines in the biggest military assault yet on ISIS. Also, it's a drug more potent than heroin, and it's both legal and deadly. The urgent warning to parents. And if Bob Dylan's Nobel Literary Award was a surprise, so is his silence about it. More tonight on NBC Nightly News.
report shows dental sealants are used a lot to prevent cavities in children, but they're not used as much as they should be. Sealants are a thin coating applied to the back teeth to help prevent tooth decay. The CDC reports about 60% of young kids do not have dental sealants, and low-income families are even less likely to get them. Federal health officials say kids without sealants are almost 3 times more likely to get cavities than children who have them. A new tool to reduce the risk of brain injury in premature babies is in the testing phase. It uses red and infrared lights that allow scientists to see through body tissue. It also gives real-time, accurate measures of the flow of blood and oxygen to the brain. There is a high risk of brain injury, developmental problems, and handicap, especially for those babies born before 7 months. Today, health officials discussed funding plans to make sure Americans are protected from the Zika virus. Congress approved an increase of $1.1 billion to help fight Zika. Experts say the money will help invest in new technologies to better detect the virus.
Are baby elephants adorable, brave, or a combination of the two? That's coming up next.
recap of one of our top stories. Lincoln University is 2 months into using body cameras on campus, and so far the university has found it beneficial. KOMU8's Desiree Evans is live on campus to tell us more about the body cameras and what students had to say.
Lincoln University campus officers have been wearing body cameras since classes started back in August. The university director of relations told me that she hopes the cameras help students feel more confident in their interactions with police, and that police feel more confident in their interactions with students. Reporting live from Lincoln University, Desiree Evans, KOMU8 News.
Here's a look at what we're following for KOMU8 News at 6. The Jefferson City Ice Rink is back up and running, but what were the effects of 2 months closure? We'll take a closer look.
Plus, thieves hit a mid-Missouri pumpkin patch. What investigators are looking for, that's coming up at 6 o'clock.
A baby elephant showed a lot of bravery during a mock rescue in Thailand today. During the rescue, a man yelled for help as he pretended to drown. The baby elephant walked into the water, grabbed her friend, and sheltered him with her trunk. She's part of an elephant foundation that has rescued more than 70 elephants and houses them in a natural habitat park.
All right, we are going to be a little bit cooler this evening, still well above average for this time of year. We'll see temperatures back into the upper 60s and low 70s for the rest of our evening. Finally, feeling a little bit more like October by tomorrow afternoon. We just have a few light scattered showers to dodge throughout Wednesday afternoon and into Thursday morning. Otherwise, we are very, very clear, and things are going to be really comfortable for Mizzou homecoming the rest of the weekend.
Wow, no record-setting temperatures today?
We got really, really close by about 3 degrees here in Columbia.
Not quite as hot as yesterday.
That's our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great night.